Welcome back, Bison Nation, to the final newscast of this academic year. I'm Ethan Birnbaum, and I'll be reporting on the news stories tonight. Everyone here at the Bison Information Network hopes your finals have gone well, and we wish you good luck in your remaining tests. Now let's get right into the last stories of this year after this short break. Thanks for sticking around. Last week, NDSU announced the date for the commencement ceremony, where graduates will be celebrated and offered the degree they've worked so hard for. The ceremony will take place at the Fargo Dome this Saturday on May 11th, with 2 different time slots to break up the graduates from each college. At 10 a.m., the College of Arts and Sciences and the College of Health and Human Sciences will be honored. Hours later, at 2 p.m., the Colleges of Business, Engineering, Interdisciplinary Studies, Food Systems and Natural Resources, and finally, Agriculture will attend the commencement ceremony as well. An event organizer with NDSU reports that roughly 1,400 graduates are expected to attend, although close to 2,000 are eligible. Each ceremony will have a distinct graduating speaker who will address their fellow students one final time before they walk across the stage, and 2 vocal soloists will also perform at each ceremony. To those who have graduated, congratulations on your accomplishments, and we wish you the best of luck in the workforce and your future plans. More on NDSU news. In an interview with WDAY, NDSU's First Lady, Katie Cook, recently shed light on her ongoing battle with breast cancer. Katie was diagnosed with breast cancer at the beginning of 2023's fall semester and has since undergone treatment at the Mayo Clinic and Sanford Health to combat the disease. At first, Katie recounts her disbelief that she had been diagnosed after receiving a call from her doctor on an unassuming Friday afternoon. Since then, she explains, it's been a challenge to keep up. At first, she couldn't believe her life could continue without change. Quote, I thought, maybe being naive, that I could definitely power through it all, like nothing was going to change. I'd go to the treatment, come home, and do everything. End quote. That wasn't the case, however. Surprise side effects hospitalized her after her diagnosis, and she says it became really scary for a little while. But Katie continues to fight, and she says she owes her life to the support and outreach from students, friends, family, and the Fargo-Moorhead community. As of today, Katie is continuing radiation treatment and plans to begin to reintegrate herself back into campus life by attending events and becoming part of the community once more. Switching to local news, the Moorhead Public School District just announced that it was awarded a $100,000 grant from the Minnesota Department of Labor and Industry's Youth Training Program. This grant will have a specialized use for classrooms. It will be used to establish a program for students who are over 18 and already have work experience in several industries: advanced manufacturing, healthcare, agriculture, automotive, and information technology. The superintendent of the district remarked that it will fit well for their Moorhead High School Career Academy. Given that the number of tradesmen has been falling in recent years, this grant comes at the right time to attempt to slow that momentum. In September of 2023, Fargo police were pursuing suspect Garrett Bird for questioning regarding a domestic violence case, when Bird dove into the Red River and summarily drowned. Initially, police responded to a report of domestic abuse at the site of a tent along the riverbank where Bird's ex-girlfriend was living. They were informed that Bird was carrying a knife, which was later found on the scene by investigators. According to Officer Timothy Falconeer, upon his arrival and unholstering of his firearm, Bird took off towards an embankment and dove into the Red River, amid protests from the responding officers to come back to shore. Bird made it halfway across the river before shouting for help and being quickly pulled under by the current. After his body was retrieved several days later, an autopsy revealed his blood alcohol content was 3 times over the legal limit of the state of North Dakota, and he was under the influence of meth. Since then, the 2 responding officers have been cleared of any wrongdoing by the Cass County prosecutor and continue their work. Just recently, in national news, popular content creator Belle Delphine came forward to reveal new details about her questionable stunt that took the internet by storm in 2019. On Monday, Belle Delphine posted on X that since it's been a couple of years now, I can finally share the biggest L I've ever taken. NBC News clarifies in their report on Belle Delphine's comments, taking an L is slang for taking a loss. Just so you know. The L in question occurred 2 years after Delphine sold out of her $30 Gamer Girl bathwater in 3 days, a move that garnered mass traction on the internet in 2019. The $90,000 she made from her online storefront was revoked from her account by PayPal in May of 2021, 2 years after the incident, causing her to lose money on the commercialization of her bathwater. She has posted screenshots of the PayPal transactions to verify her claims. As NBC News reports, quote, the allegation adds to those made by some creators, most notably those who toe the line on sexually suggestive content, who say that major internet platforms often take action against their content with little warning or reason. And lastly, in national news, the UK Supreme Court just released a ruling over the $43 million in treasure recovered from a passenger ship sunk during World War II in the Indian Ocean. On November 23, 1942, the SS Tilawa was sunk by 2 Japanese torpedoes in the Indian Ocean, capsizing the ship meant to house 3,000 and killing 280 of the passengers on board. At the time of its demise, the ship was carrying well over 2,000 silver bars that were purchased for delivery by the Union of South Africa to be turned into coins. The wreckage remained undiscovered until the British company Argentum Exploration Ltd. was able to reach the silver and retrieve it. This move caused the South African government to argue that the ruling of the UK's lower court in favor of the company's legal retrieval had no power because the treasure was removed from a foreign state. South Africa ended up filing 2 appeals, one to the UK's lower courts and another to the UK's Supreme Courts. Yet, earlier this week, the UK Supreme Court ruled in favor of Argentum's claim that the silver was company property. Well, that's all we've got for BIN News tonight. It's been a pleasure reporting for BIN this year, and I appreciate the opportunity to do so. Next up, Logan will be relaying some new updates on NDSU sports team's performance, and Vinny will be covering local weather. All that and more after this short break.
No kid deserves to go hungry, but try as they might, not every family can afford to put food on the table every day. That's why the Great Plains Food Bank and their partner agencies work every day to bring food to our hungry neighbors. Every dollar donated can provide 4 meals for those in need. Go to greatplainsfoodbank.org and donate today so no kid in North Dakota ever has to go hungry.
My name is Becky Parker, and I'm a news anchor at WDAY-TV. I graduated from NDSU in 2010 with a degree in journalism, broadcasting, and mass communication technologies, and then I had an emphasis on broadcasting. Principles of broadcast production and advanced broadcast production. Those were favorites because they were the most relevant for career experience. You're calling people for interviews, you're writing an article. It doesn't just feel like an assignment, it's like actually doing it. I was the news director for the first full semester of the Bison Information Network. The BIN advisor here was very much invested in me to actually have a career in broadcasting. He helped me get my internship and my first job. The people in NDSU's Department of Communication are
Welcome in, Bison Nation, to the final sports report for the 2023-2024 school year, and my last report with you all as well. Now let's start off right with NDSU baseball found themselves deep in the heart of Iowa this past week. Now the Bison squared off against a strong Iowa Hawkeye squad, but started the day off with a flurry of offense. NDSU put up 6 runs in the first with a grand slam and a double, bringing those runs. Iowa would answer with a 2-run blast of their own, but NDSU would hold onto the lead, putting up another 2 in the third. And the day would be marked by walks and home runs, as the Bison would get 3 more homers, with 1 in the third and another 2 in the sixth. When the dust settled, it was the Bison who came out on top, 21-14. Both offenses were red hot as Iowa recorded 8 hits and 15 walks, but the Bison shined on the day with 21 hits and 10 walks. Will Bush was a hero for the Bison with a double, home run, and 6 RBIs in total on the day. And Colton Becker was the other hot bat for the road team, adding another 6 RBIs on the back of 2 home runs and a double. Now, after the 21-14 rout of the Hawkeyes, the Bison will return home to host St. Thomas. Now, the offense floundered on Friday, losing 3-11, but they would rebound, taking Saturday's game 7-4 and Sunday's game 5-4. Now, after the strong weekend, the Bison will pack up their bags and hit the road again as they travel to Brookings to play the Jackrabbits. That series will kick off this Friday at 3 p.m., and all 3 of those games can be watched on the Summit League Network. Now, while the baseball team still has a few games left, the regular season has wrapped up for the softball team this past weekend, and it's safe to say that this year has been a little bit below their expectations, but they had the chance to end on a positive note as they headed south to play the Coyotes this past weekend. But it was not the weekend they were hoping for, as the Bison would drop all 3 to South Dakota. The weekend started with devastating 0-4 and 1-5 losses on Friday, before finishing on Saturday with a 3-9 loss. Now it is officially win or go home time for the Bison as they will face the Kansas City Roos in Brookings. That game is underway as of the time of this show, and we wish the Bison the best of luck in bringing home some hardware. Now, as the school year comes to a close, both track and field teams are eyeing the prize after completing their tune-up meets last Thursday and Friday. Both teams will compete in the Summit League Championships, which will be held over 3 days, opening up on Thursday and finishing on Saturday. A live stream is available for all events on Midcoast Sports Plus, so go cheer on your Bison as they compete to bring home the gold. Well, that concludes my final sports report for you, Bison Nation. With school letting out, that means that summer is right around the corner. Vinny, should we be expecting typical summer weather, or do we have a little bit longer to wait for that?
Welcome back, Bison Nation. Welcome to the weather report. You know, Henry normally has this type of stuff, but he's too busy doing GM things. So let's get right into weather. Right now, outside, it is 70 degrees outside, and it feels like 44, all right, with our humidity at 32% and northeast winds going at 9 miles per hour. Now, we are going down from hour by hour. We have broken clouds at 7 o'clock with 72 degrees. And we're looking at 66. We're going cooling down a little bit all the way down to this tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. with 49 degrees. And we're looking at our skycast talking about tonight. We have sunrise at 6 a.m., sunset at 8:47 p.m. with 14 hours and 47 minutes of total sunlight. That's how you know we are getting into the summer. Now, we're going into our moon. We have a waning crescent right now. Our new moon was May 7th, and our first quarter moon will be May 15th. Today's almanac is, the high is 71 degrees, the low is 48, so it's pretty big swings. The average temp right now would be a high of 66 and a low of 41. The record temps, the high in 1934 is 92 degrees and the low 22 degrees, and that was in 1955. Going on to the chart for the U.S. of weather, we have right here that's heading a cold front. But lower areas like Florida and Texas always get the warmer weather. And up here in the Midwest, we have that median weather as of right now. Going into the rain and snow forecast, everywhere in the East Coast is getting hit. Like it's a lot of rain, but it's just missing here in Fargo. Everywhere else, except for if you're living in the mountains, is also getting rain. Other than that, we're pretty dry. So going into our 7-day forecast, on Friday, we have partly cloudy skies with a high of 72 and a low of 51. Saturday, for those who graduate, we have a great weather outside for you with a high of 82 and a low of 44. Going on to Sunday, it's going to be mostly cloudy, so watch out for that. You're not going to get a lot of sun, but your high is going to be 84 and a low of 8. And then on Monday, we are looking at a high of 82 and a low of 49, and we get to see that all through the rest of the week, with seeing about 60 to 70 highs and high 40s being a low. Well, that will do it for our weather today, and thanks for joining us for this amazing show. Me and Logan will be graduating, so this will be officially our last show. If you want to see us, go to the ceremony on Saturday. Other than that, we'll see you never. Peace.